Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Moran and this is the place where I usually share my crochet objet knitting journey with things that brings me joy and keeps me inspired. But recently this has been the place where I share kind of like a personal update from the war in Israel. Hopefully I would be able to mix it with my makings. Today is Wednesday. It's actually 2 o'clock. Yesterday, exactly in this time, we went to a funeral, and a siren was on in the middle of the funeral, and it was a very unpleasing experience. We were in a very open space in the cemetery, and I found myself on the ground on one of the relatives right on top of the fresh grave. It was really an unpleasing experience. So hopefully we will not have any siren in the middle of this episode. I don't know what will I do if we will have. I want to share like this experience, but I find myself that I just act like in my surviving mode. So I usually run away, get my kids and go in the staircase. Yesterday we had a lot of them and we spent hours in the staircase, and we could hardly sleep because when we put the head on the pillow, all you think about is when will be the next one and will I have to go out of the bed and go to the staircase. So yeah, this was the case yesterday. So we didn't really had a night of like sleeping night, all of us. In today's episode, I want to share my new bunny pattern, Bono Bunny crochet pattern, which I released. It's now available in both my Etsy and Ravelry shops, and it's a charity pattern. So I want to speak mostly about that and explain everything about the pattern, the new pattern, and show the Bono Bunny. I do have some makings to share, and I also recorded yesterday sort of like a vlog where I recorded when I cooked and when I tidied up my home in the morning. But I'm not sure I will have the time to edit to my video. I don't have any editing time, but I would like to share it. So maybe sometime, maybe if this episode is not, if I get the time to record and then edit, I will add these vlogging footage into this video. Anyway, today I'm here to share mainly my Bono Bunny pattern, the new bunny pattern, hopefully with some of my makings that keeps me busy, keeps me a little bit happy. And maybe if we have the time at the end, I will share a podcast that I was listening to earlier this week that made me a little bit more optimistic maybe, or maybe gave me hope. So yeah, I think I shared about it on my previous episode, but if there is something positive, if you could say something positive in war days, but if you want to look at the positive side of this war in Israel, we have here like a huge movement of civilian charity organizations. I hope I will find the right words in English, but there are tons of charity organizations founded by civilians, and people are volunteering all over the place. And it's like from huge charity organizations to very, very small ones. I shared 2 links on my previous episode, and you were kindly donated, and I'm very, very thankful for each and every one of you who donated. We also donate to these organizations, and we hope they will, as we understand, they will take care of those that lost their homes within the brutal attack in the October 7th. So I can speak a whole episode just on these charities and donations and the people, the small to huge organizations, what they do. People are cooking for the families. People are taking care of children. It's endless. The list is endless. There is a lot to take care of, and the civilians, the solidarity of the people in Israel is really, really mind-blowing, and it's beyond words. I don't have enough words to explain and to express, and it's a huge movement. So this is like a little light in the darkness. And I don't know if you remember, but I started while the news of the brutal attack and how Hamas, ISIS people, how they treated babies, alive, dead, burned, how they treated mothers, how they treated... Anyway, when these news started to come, I started to crochet Uri Bunny, which is a pattern of mine. It's available in my Etsy and my Ravelry stores. And I started to crochet it using a wool I brought with me from Copenhagen. And whilst crocheting it eventually became a different pattern. And I shared it with my knitters groups, and people told me, I want to knit it with you. And I shared my, I thought I would eventually make Uri Bunny, and that will be meeting the hands of a toddler that survived this brutal attack. And there are lots of them. A lot of kids, a lot of toddlers that left alone, a lot of toddlers that their eyes saw, they will never forget. So I thought, okay, I will make one, maybe two, maybe more and more people here in my groups. They said, I want to join you. So another light that I have in my life at the moment is that my knitters and crocheters, the groups that are coming, the weekly groups that are come to my studio, they insist to come. So Monday girls, they insist to come, and they, except of one lady that maybe she's old, maybe she's afraid to drive alone, we meet, and in the knit night we are afraid to be knitting and driving in the evening in the darkness, so we meet in the morning. So with the knit night I will meet tomorrow morning, but I said, okay, I will write down the pattern quickly for Monday's ladies, and then when they come on Monday they can start work on it. But then when I started to knit, to write the pattern down, I said, this is like, I wrote it on my regular software. I said, why not to add a few pictures, and it's a pattern by itself. It's a new crochet pattern, and I can put it on my Etsy shop and Ravelry store and offer it and have my own like small charity. So that's what I did. Yesterday I finished the pattern, and on Monday, one of the Monday ladies started to crochet the Bono Bunny here, and all of them took the pattern with them. And yesterday I uploaded this the Bono Bunny crochet pattern into both my Etsy and Ravelry stores, and this pattern is now available as a charity pattern, and all the incomes from this pattern, at least until the end of 23, the end of this year, will go to Brothers in Arms charity organization. And I will share a link to this charity organization also in this week's episode, but it's also shared on the last week's episode. Anyway, the Bono Bunny pattern is now available, and I wanted to share it with you and to show you to speak about everything about it with you. So in case you want to make it, or in case you want to purchase the pattern just for maybe to give it to someone that knows how to crochet and you would like to maybe gift a person, or maybe just for the charity purposes, which is totally fine. So yeah, when I first started to crochet, this was the first Bono Bunny I made, and this was the second one. As you can see, the second one is a little bit shorter, but the second one is the one that is the pattern is written for. So in the pattern you get this Bono Bunny. And yeah, when I thought of the name, I didn't really even had to think about the name, but the name Bono Bunny came right away without any thinking process. I don't know if you know about it, but on October 7th, or maybe the day after, Bono and U2, the music group, they like dedicated, or I don't know how to say the word in English, but they I think dedicated a song to the people that were brutally murdered, hundreds of people that were brutally murdered in the nature party that was being held in the same area of the ISIS attack. And he said, these are for people like us that like to dance, that like to festive life, that like to enjoy nature parties. Yeah, so when I thought about the name, I didn't really think about it for more than a second. I knew it will be named Bono Bunny. So let me explain how it works in case you want to make it. So the Bono Bunny is made out of wool that I brought with me from Copenhagen. It's the Isager, the EcoSoft by Isager. The EcoSoft yarn is at 56% alpaca and 44% organic cotton. It's a 50-gram ball, 125 meters. And I used a 4mm hook. I gave Elisheva that started to knit it last Monday, I gave her a ball of this because on the pattern I wrote that you will need 30 grams of this yarn, but I think that if you have the same yarn, I think that one ball can make 2 of the Bono Bunnies. I think so, but Elisheva, she used the 3.75mm hook, and she said she will tell me if one ball made 2 bunnies. So I will update you. Anyway, you can use any DK wool if you like, or maybe cotton, or maybe any wool that you find, or any yarn that you have in stash and enjoy making this pattern. And how it works in terms of the crochet construction. First, I write all my patterns in US crochet terms, but this pattern uses only the single crochet stitch, and the pattern includes a few video tutorials in it. You will start working from the bottom of the first leg, and you will work all the way up, and then you will cut the yarn, and then you will start from the bottom of the second leg and you will work up. And then you will not cut the yarn, but with the same yarn you will join the two legs, and then you will make a few increases, and then you will knit a little bit upwards. You will crochet in the round, you will crochet the body, and with a few increases you will shape up the body. And when the body is done, you will crochet the arms from this point up here. You will need some stuffing material, and you will fill up the body and legs as you go. I didn't fill it up so much because I know personally about myself that touching a soft material or a soft fabric impact my mood and impact me. It has a strong impact on me, physically and mentally. And I just thought of the toddler that will touch it, and I wanted it to be soft, and I wanted it to be something that you can, I don't know how to explain, but something that can comfort you while just in the tactile way, in touching it, in feeling it against your skin. So I made it to be soft and squishy in a way. So I didn't fill up the body so much and the legs. I didn't put any stuffing material inside the arms. When you finish crocheting the two arms, you will attach them, you will join them, you will leave a long tail at the last round of the arms, and with this tail you will sew the arms onto the body, just on the sides, really exactly on the sides of the body, just one round before the last round of the body. And then you will start to crochet the head. You will start up in this point, and then you will crochet in the round, in a spiral round. You will crochet, you will make the increases, and then you will crochet a few rows. And when you get to the place that you have to attach the eyes, you will need to place the eyes. I used plastic safety eyes, and I think those are 8 millimeters, and they have like a safety closure that you close and you hear the click, and these are, I think, considered as the most safe for babies. But you can also embroider the eyes or maybe crochet small circles. Anyway, I placed the plastic eyes, and then I started to decrease, and then I stuffed the head, also not too much, and then I with the yarn left on the head, I sewed the head to the body. And yeah, you will have to make a few stitches or like a few extra stitches to make the head stable on top of the body. But as you can see, it moves quite softly and quite flexible. And I think it's nice because he can make like movements and maybe look like you can, it's someone that you can speak to, you can talk with it. So yeah, when you finish to crochet the head, you will crochet 2 ears and you will attach them. So you will attach them to the 5th round after your first round. So if this is your first one, you will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you will place the ears just on the sides, but a little bit towards the back center, but just slightly a little bit towards the back center. Yeah, and this is the Bono Bunny. The Bono Bunny, yeah. So the Bono Bunny crochet pattern is now available on both Etsy and Ravelry, and all the incomes from this pattern will be donated to Brothers in Arms charity organization. Yeah, and I know this question will come. I know that there are viewers here that will ask me, kindly ask me, can I make and send you for the donation? So I want to tell you something about it. I make the bunnies, and more knitters, more crocheters are making the Bono Bunny with me, with the donation in our heads. Listen, this situation is very, very sensitive. It is not very easy to reach those toddlers or kids or anyone that survived this brutal attack. These kids, in some cases, they are with another family member, maybe with the sister of the mother, maybe with the sister of the father, maybe with the grandmother. I don't know. There are so many cases. I don't know how to reach the kids. I don't know what is the right thing that I have to do. And I will figure it out. We will figure it out together here with the ladies, with my weekly knitters and crocheters. And when the time comes, it will be the time that we will find a way how to pass our Bono Bunnies to those little hands and those little hearts. So it's not that I can tell you, okay, make the Bono Bunny and send me and I will take care of it. No, it's not the case, not yet. You can make one. Maybe you can send it yourself. Maybe you know a family that needs it. But once I know how to pass it on or to whom pass it, I will update you. But meanwhile, this pattern, all the incomes of this pattern will go to charity organization that take care of these kids and their families. So you are doing good in any case, if you make one to donate or if you purchase the pattern. So this is everything I wanted to share about my new bunny pattern, about Bono Bunny. And first, I hope you like it. I think it's a really, really nice soft toy. I'm very happy it's now been added to my patterns collection. It makes me very happy to add it to my patterns, but also the purpose of it makes me very happy. This is my really tiny little contribution to the charity movement and to the civilian solidarity here in Israel during the war. So this is it. This is about the Bono Bunny pattern. Let's see. Yeah, it's already more than 24 minutes of recording. So maybe I will share a little bit more of my makings. Yeah, I think if there are a few lights in the darkness for me, those in these days is mainly I find myself wanting to be spending time with my knitting, with my crochet. I spend hours in the kitchen feeding my family, making sure everybody gets good food. The kids are volunteering here, and sometimes they are out for hours for charity, for volunteering, and I find a lot of comfort taking care of them, making food, and I find a lot of comfort in knitting. This is like a light in the darkness. And of course, the knitters that insist to continue meeting here on a weekly basis, it's a light in the darkness for me. So I find myself actually spending time mainly with two projects. The first one is here in this soft quilt, that project bag or bag. I don't know if it's a really knitting project bag, but I purchased it on our visit to Copenhagen. Yesterday we went to the funeral. It was like a 30 or 40 minutes driving each way. So I took one of I have socks here. So I took one of the socks with me to knit on the way. Actually, I am knitting the third pair of my lila socks. This is a pattern that originally I wanted to release just a few days after we came back from Copenhagen. It has just a little bit of a lace pattern, and then the entire sock works as a vanilla sock pattern. But I didn't feel like publishing it yet. So I just started to knit the third pair. It's originally made out of Arweta by Phil Colana, and also these two are made by Arweta by Phil Colana, and this time I'm using color 977. So I have one sock here in this case, in this project bag, and one sock here. Yeah. So on my lila socks, my third lila socks, on one sock I have just finished the foot section, and on the other sock I am just about to finish the toe section. And my go-to needles for socks is the shorties, the 9-inch short circular needles by Chiagu, and I'm using a 2.25 millimeter, which I think is a 1 US size. So I think these three colors coordinate very, very beautifully. Like, yeah. So yeah, I'm just about to finish the third sock, and I love this color. So usually my go-to needles for socks are the 9-inch short circular, 2.25 millimeter. I have them linked in my Amazon storefront down below in the description box if you like. For the heel flap and heel turn, and for the toe section, I move to long circular needles and knit in the magic loop method, but I keep using the same size, of course, the 2.25 millimeter US size 1. So I think I will finish at least one sock this evening if we don't spend too much time in the shelter. Anyway, they live here in this project bag, and because I am always packed, my knitting is always packed in a huge bag. I will show it to you in a minute, and I'm ready to go in case we have to go, and to be in a shelter for a few days. We will run away to Eyal's mom's apartment. She has a safety room building in her apartment. So I keep all my personal belongings here in my Como bag, which is always next to me wherever I am at home. It will be next to me in case we have to run out of the door and go. And my knitting bag, including all the knitting projects and crochet projects that I want to have with me. So in this bag I also keep all kinds of accessories like tapestry needles and tape measure and scissors and a few boxes of stitch markers. I have these two. I really like them. I made them for the knitters, for my weekly knitters. And of course I have my sock needles case. So yeah, this was a project that I've been busy with quite some time this week, and always together with the other project that I want to show you. But first I want to locate this project bag here. So I always make sure I have everything, that all my ongoing projects, knitting and crochet projects, live here in this bag for a few weeks. I think I made it on October 8th maybe, and since then everything is there. So if I'm working on a project, it will be out and I work on it, and if I'm not, it will be stored in this bag just in case we need to leave the house in a rush. We need to hurry up and leave. So I've been spending some time with my coziest memory blanket, and I think I shared many times, I shared the way I started to work on it. And when I first started, I worked all the way to this direction and this direction parallelly at the same time. But I think now I work mostly in rows, and I work like I finished the 4th row, and then I now almost finishing the 5th row. So you can see, almost finishing the 5th row. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. So I think we are in a very uncertainty, I think this is the right word to say, times, and there is a lot of I'll look for the right word in Google, with Google. Let's see. Uncertainty. I think this kind of like position, the mental position, makes me, maybe this is why I started to feel more comfortable to knit this project while I finish row by row. So I go all the way until the end of the row. Unlike what I did when I first started, and I worked like, if I found the right color, I found the right place to locate it, and if it was here or here or here, I just worked on it. But now I feel much better to work and complete row by row. So now I'm at a place where I almost finished the 5th row. Yeah, and I spend hours with my coziest memory blanket. This is a free pattern by Kemper. You can find it on Ravelry. It's a garter stitch mostly pattern, and more knitters join this joyful making, more of the weekly knitters here. And yeah, I have made a subscription. I talked about it a lot here. I have a subscription to Row 1 yarns, and I get, every month I get a package of 10 minis, 10 grams each, of another hand-dyed hand dyer that they are working with. So I get to know a lot of hand dyers, wool hand dyers. And I have to say, at first I wasn't very sure about this subscription. I thought it's not very expensive, like the hand-dyed yarn, you should pay what you should pay for hand-dyed yarn, but the shipping was too expensive. And I thought, why should I do it? I don't need, and then the packages started to arrive, and it's nice to get a package, but not all of the times I liked all of the colors. But in these war days, I have to say, it's something that really brings me a true joy in my heart, and I really happy to have this subscription. And also another knitter here is started to share this subscription with me, and on the last Monday another knitter joined, and they decided to that we will split the subscription, so we will like pay for it together, so it's easier for me to handle mentally and also to pay for it. And I hope we will continue to share it. Maybe yes, maybe not, but anyway, we swap a lot of colors and we share a lot of colors, and I spent a lot of time with this joyful making. This is a color from the last row one shipment, and this is another color, and I like to split squares, so I use the magic knot and I switch colors within one square. It really brings me a lot of joy. I like to work that way. It gives me a lot of like space to express my love for colors. So I find myself splitting the colors within one square quite a lot. This is also from this month's subscription, from the row one. And here I made like a stripes using two yarns, one very old one in my stash, and the green, the dark green, this beautiful dark green that I got in this month's row one subscription. All of these that are being added this week are sock yarns, leftovers from sock yarns that knitters here in my weekly clubs gave me. And yeah, we swap a lot, and more knitters are joining this beautiful joyful making, and makes me very happy. I spend a lot of time with this with the coziest memory blanket. So the Bono Bunny and the Lila socks and the coziest memory blanket is mainly what I'm busy making. On Friday evening after the dinner, we were sitting, all the family, all 5 of us, in the living room watching the news. Unfortunately, in some point, our 16-year-old, who is very interested, reading a lot about the situation, writing a lot about the situation, he also uploaded a 6-minute explanation to the YouTube yesterday. I will try to link it for you, although it's in Hebrew, but maybe you want to hear it. Maybe you can translate it. We were sitting together, and he was reading for us from a book talking about the peace process that former Prime Minister Rabin, that got murdered here, unfortunately, he started a peace process, and Uri is very interested in this, and he read for us from the book. And I was knitting my coziest memory blanket, and suddenly I said, I have to stop knitting for a while because my joints are so hurting me, but I just can't stop. And Maya, our eldest, said, Ima, I totally understand why you cannot stop working on it. It's so beautiful. I feel so good. It's a feel-good thing to look at. And I feel so good looking at it. I think as much as you enjoy knitting it. And it was such a clever thing to say. Such a special thing to say to me at this moment. So we all love it. And if I leave it on the couch and somebody put their heads on it, they will tell me, wow, this is so soft, this is so comfortable. So yeah, and as always, I keep all my knitting stuff in this, I think it's a Stefan and Penelope project bag. I'm not sure if I purchased it myself or maybe I got it as a gift from one of the knitters here. My memory is not very sharp, I'm sorry, but I'm very happy I have it, and it's really a good escape knitting bag for me now. I think this is it in terms of knitting. I haven't touched any of my other projects, but all of them are living here. My black raglan and my granny square blanket from Knitting for Olive Merino, the pink one, but I haven't touched it for a while. I think before I wrap up this episode, just one last thing that I wanted to share with you, just to put something optimistic into the darkness. So I have this podcast that I love to listen to. I'm not sure I can say the name of the podcaster very well. I think I will butcher the name anyway, but I will say that the podcast calls Feel Better, Live More by Dr. Chatterjee. So this is the podcast, and I think it was Sunday morning that I listened to a podcast when he hosted Gladys McGarry, age 102 and a half years. Today's guest is the oldest person I've welcomed onto the show. Dr. Gladys McGarry is co-founder of American Holistic Medical Association and author of the fantastic new book, The Well-Lived Life. Many consider Gladys to be the mother of holistic medicine. For years now, she has been trying to spread the message that health is not just physical, it involves mental, emotional, and spiritual elements in equal measure. Her message is that living is a long and healthy life isn't about the right diet or taking vitamins and supplements. Instead, it requires a shift in perspective. A long life is all very well, but what are you living for? And I don't know how, but I I want to share only one sentence that she said that kept me, that brought so much, that brought hope to me. She said so many things, and I am listening now to this same episode on the second time, and I will listen again. I shared it with my knitters, and one of them already ordered the book. I want to download her book to my Kindle. Anyway, one sentence that I want to share with you. She says, if we are not going to really see that the sun does come out in the morning, then it's going to always be dark. And should I say something further? I'm very thankful for this sentence, and she said a lot of other things that I am very thankful for, and I just recommend that you also listen to this podcast. And this is it. This is everything I am going to share with you today. I did try to vlog this week and to upload like a vlog episode. I recorded myself cooking and doing some other things. I'm not sure I can edit into the video. I'm not sure I will have the time for the editing that requires. If I have the time, I will add it into this episode. Anyway, I really appreciate you being here. Before I'm closing, I just want you to remind you the Bono Bunny pattern is now available in both Etsy and Ravelry. I will leave links to this pattern down below in the description box for you. And this pattern, all the incomes from this pattern will be donated to Brothers-in-Law charity. So yeah, this is it. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye. So it's Tuesday and I'm preparing lunch. I woke up very early this morning, around 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. And then I start arranging, starting the day up. Usually I go a little bit outside to our balcony garden and get the light of, the first light of the day. Eyal was waking up a little bit after me. We had a little coffee together, reading the news, reading that 2 elderly hostages were released and came back from Hamas, from Gaza. We were very curious and very happy, but there is not a lot of information. They just said they are now getting, they are in the hospital, being taken care of. I think this is the right English to say. Yeah, I try to start my day as usual. As we speak, I hear like far away booms. I guess this is again the Israeli system is attacking the bombs that coming from Gaza, and I guess it's in the area of Ashkelon or in Sderot, because it's very far away. So I hope there will be no alarms during this today's vlog. Yeah, I made a little bit of tidying up in my household jobs, and yeah, then I managed to upload my new pattern, my new bunny pattern, the Bono Bunny pattern. I managed to upload it today to my Etsy shop and then to Ravelry, and now I just went out of the studio and I'm making a Swiss chard and leek kind of pie. It's not really a pie because it's with low carb. I might use a little bit of like an almond flour and maybe psyllium, which will keep it low carb. And I thought to take you along with me for this making. I really hope this kind of vlog or kind of episode will also include some knitting and crochet. I usually start my day every day knitting with my coffee or crochet with my coffee. I'm very busy happily busy making my coziest memory blanket and knitting another pair of my lila socks, which is a new pattern that I'm about to release. So now I chopped the leeks and I'm going to be adding them to the Swiss chard.